Are you right, guys? My name's Sami from Pioneer DJ, and today I'm at Tech for Music to look at our new 2-channel controller, the DDJ 800. Right, guys, today what I'm going to do is go through our mixer section, then move over to our deck section and highlight some of the key features in both of those areas. So with the mixer section, I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. So at the top here, you have your load and your instant doubles to load on your tracks to either deck. We have your rotary selector, which is essentially the same one that we have on our XDJ 700s and our Nexus 2. Just below that, we have our back and view, and then we also have quick shortcuts while holding shift to playlist palette and then related tracks. We have 3-band EQ with trim, and then we also have our 4 sound color effects with the pots just to the right hand side of that. Now to the left hand side, we have our 2 mics with 2-band EQ, and then we have an on and off switchboard. To the bottom left, we have our mixing cue to master and our level adjust. Now on the right hand side of the mixer, here is where you're going to find all of our beat effects. Now we have 14 beat effects on there, and we have some really cool ones in there to kind of use. 2 of them that I really like is the Mobius Saw and Mobius Triangle. They have come from our DDJ 1000, and just to explain, they are not on any other unit. So when you are buying this, you are buying something that has many features of our DDJ 1000, but this is our DDJ 800, so it's a little bit more stripped back. But when it comes to the beat effects section, you're getting everything that you would normally have on our 1000, which is a really great feature. We can also switch over to the sampler. We have deck 1, 2, 3 and 4 and our master, our level depth for wet and dry, and then our trigger button for on and off. Now one thing I want to mention about our mixer section is that it is standalone, which means that you can hook up CDJs, turntables, and you can use the 3-band EQ with trim and your faders here and the crossfader. Just to mention, when you do go standalone, you're not able to use the sound color effects or the beat effects because they are software based. But if you are in a standalone mode, then you can still use your 2 mics with the trim and also your aux with your level adjust there. Now moving over to our deck section, and at the top here we have our loop in, loop out with your exit button, quantize, your cue call, delete and memory. Now one really cool feature about this that I like is we have the same size jog wheels as something like our DDJ SX3, but we have the on-jog display. Just to mention, this is our first 2-channel controller with on-jog display. You can go into the settings of Rekordbox and you can clear this up a little bit, but it's great because it displays different things like the waveform, your artwork, which deck you're on. It also has a time elapsed and time remaining. It's just something that takes you away from looking at your laptop all the time. Another great feature is if you double tap the shift button, you can now switch to have full artwork on your jog wheel. Another thing that's really key about this jog wheel is that we have the level adjust for heavy and for light. Now you don't normally see this on this sort of size controller, but it's great that we've added the jog adjust because it allows you to really get the feel of the jog wheel, and if you walk into a club you can set the jog wheel to the same settings. Just to mention, this jog adjust is only on the DDJ 1000. Now we have it on the DDJ 800, and previous to that it would be on our CDJ range. Moving down from that, we have our search function and our cue and our play. Now we're moving on to our different pad modes. Now we have the exact same pad modes that we have on our DDJ 1000, which is great. We have hot cue, pad effects, beat jump, sampler, keyboard, pad effects 2, beat loop and key shift. Now these are rubber RGB pads that you can go in there in Rekordbox, and you can also change the color of them as well. We also have a page select to go on to our next page. So on our hot cues we have 8 here. If you go on to the next page, we then create another 8 hot cues, which essentially means you have 16 hot cues to play with. Another thing that I really like, considering it is the 800 and is a little bit smaller than the 1000, we still have our full size tempo adjust here, which is great for if you're playing at home and then you want to walk into a club. On the right hand side, we have our beat sync, key shift, tempo range, and master tempo. One of the features I really like on this is the key sync, because if I do want to mix into another tune that is a different key, I can press the key sync and it will sync this deck to the master deck and will allow the keys to sync up and you'll be able to mix harmonically. One thing to mention on our sampler, we have the sample volume in the middle, which is great because whilst bringing in your sample, you can also add your beat effects to the sampler, so you can kind of get a really smooth transition on your samples with this unit. Going on to the back, here we have one USB, we have aux, our microphone, 2 inputs, we have a combi jack and we have a 1/4 inch jack, and we also have an extra headroom for volume there as well. We have RCA inputs for line and phono, and then for our volume we have XLR and RCA, and then for the booth we have got 1/4 inch jacks. Now this, guys, is a great controller, something that I kind of whipped out of the box, plugged into Rekordbox, and it done everything that it needed. The 2-channel element is great. If you want to go to your 3rd and your 4th deck, all you would do is use a switchboard up the top to move over, and as you see, the decks have changed to the 3rd and the 4th. This is also where you would change to your line and your phono using that switchboard. So we have 2 new features on this unit that you can't physically see. The first one is a feedback producer on our mics. So in Rekordbox, when you click the mixing section to be highlighted, it will then bring up the feedback producer, which is great because this allows you to pass the mic around with confidence. This is our first controller that supports this new feature. And what it's going to do, it has 2 settings that allows you to kind of dim that feedback of that howling sound you get when people have the mic right next to the speaker. With the 2 mic inputs, it just gives you great flexibility, allows you to have a mic and then also to pass the mic out front. But the feedback producer works really well. We also have 3 effects on there that you can add to both mics. We have echo, reverb and pitch, and also a level adjustment to adjust the wet and the dry. Lastly, one of the features that really kind of stood this product out from our others is this is our first product where it is plug in and play. This means there is no license key attached to this unit, no physical one that you need to put into your computer. So when you buy the DDJ 800 and connect it via USB to Rekordbox export mode, what this will do, this will switch straight over to performance mode, because on the newest version of Rekordbox, it recognizes it's the 800 and it will go straight over to our performance mode. The reason why this is great is because this means that when you go out and if you are using another laptop with Rekordbox on it, but you haven't got the license key on there, it doesn't matter anymore, because now all you need is the unit to plug it straight into Rekordbox and it will recognize it's the 800 and move you straight over to our performance mode. So that is the DDJ 800. If you like what you saw, get yourself down to Tech for Music for a demonstration.